All right, welcome everyone to my weekly broadcast. It's R. Christian Minson here saying namaste and looking forward to talking to you today on the topic of living on purpose. A little bit about me, real quick, for those who are joining and don't know. I am basically the former director of breath work at Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. I am a former monk of 10 years, now well in the past, but still influencing my life to this day. I am a breathwork facilitator and coach, basically. I am certified through the Transformational Breath Foundation, have been doing this for the last 15 years. And so all of this is part of the makeup of who I am, speaker and author as well, to make me your guide to a higher version of yourself. So welcome today, and welcome anybody who's joining on. Welcome Agnieszka, looking forward to having you on today. And saying today we're talking about living on purpose, looking at the purpose of life, finding your purpose, and what it means basically to live a fulfilling life. And as I always like to say, this is not just me talking at you, though I have a lot of talking points. I appreciate an interactive approach, so that's why I like to get you working with your fingers in the chat bar. So if you have any questions along the way or any contributions you'd like to make, please do. And I wanted to say first too, Chad was on last week. Chad was the one who suggested that last week's topic, which was on procrastination. And I invite any of you out there to give me topics, and if there's something you really want to hear me speak on, I'd love to, and give you a spiritual perspective on that. That's more than welcome. But Chad was mentioning too, he watched last week's session and he said this really worked well for them. He just watched the live, completely present to it, meaning he didn't take any notes or do anything. But then when the recording came up, and the recordings always get posted on my Facebook page, my personal page, R. Christian Minson, my business page, which is Inhale Life /Breathflow /R Christian Minson, and then on my YouTube page, which again is R Christian Minson, they always get posted there. So anyway, Chad watched the review after, and then he took the notes and said this was a really powerful way to absorb the information and make it personal. So I am inviting you to take that and see if it might work for you. I've got the guitar back here. If we got the time at the end, we'll play a little song as we like to do, song related to the topic ideally. So let's jump in, right? Why are we talking about living on purpose today? Well, from my spiritual perspective, life has a flow. Life has a direction. When you're in alignment with life, with the flow of life, you feel good. You feel like life moves with a certain amount of ease and grace. And I often say it doesn't mean that we don't have challenges, we don't have problems, things to get over or get through, but the way that we meet them has a certain flow and a gracefulness to it. If you're out of sync with that direction and flow in life, then life can feel very difficult. It can feel very aggravating at times. And so this is really tuning into, to tune into the flow of life is to find your little pocket and move along with it. That pocket might be what we call your purpose. Okay, so this is really why we're looking at it today and why this may be important to you in your life. I know a lot of people out there came when I was at Rhythmia, a lot of people came looking for their purpose, feeling like life had a deeper purpose than they were fulfilling at that time. And so that was part of their quest. And I know working with clients over the years in breathwork, group workshops, and then individual, the same thing would come up. People are looking for, what is my purpose? And there's this idea, this sense of fulfillment that is lacking in their lives, and so it's really a search for how can I live a more fulfilled existence. So this is what we're talking about, why we're talking about this today. So what is purpose? Again, from a spiritual perspective, perhaps there's an Eastern philosophical concept called dharma. You may have heard that word dharma. It's in line with these concepts like karma, but it's not karma, it's dharma. And what dharma is a spiritual concept of pretty much living in your ultimate truth. And what that means by that is living in a way that not only is good and satisfying to yourself, to your soul as an individual, but it also has ramifications for the environment, those around you, the general land, and that when you're living your dharma, you are, everything is harmonious. You're in a line, and you are in alignment with what's going on. So this is what we could really call our true purpose. Now, I'd like to explain this from a perspective that I've really put together over the years from all that time spent in the monastic ashram, getting to contemplate, getting to meditate, and then all these years after working as a healing guide and really receiving, what people's deepest angsts were and what was really working for people. I put together a framework of life that really helps us to simplify things and get down to the nitty-gritty, so to speak. And for lack of a better term right now, I call it the theory of everything, because it kind of wraps it all up. And basically, this is it. Now, I try to speak as much from personal experience as I can, and then what I haven't personally experienced, I will disclaim. So in this first part of the theory of everything is that God is one, right? We may call it God, we may call it the universe, we may call it the divine, whatever it is, there is this oneness, this one entity, all right? Now, this is something that I can't prove. So from a personal perspective, I have to say that this is more based on intuitive faith, that I get the sense, and many of you probably feel the sense of a oneness, that there is this overall unifying energy that is the essence of life. So we can call that God, we can call that the universe. But so we start with this unifying essence of life. Now, it's not really a being. It's not like God is an individual, but more of an energy. And what is that energy? I feel like the fundamental energy of the universe is the energy of joy, of peace, and of love. And so joy, peace, love, I usually use the term just love. That the nature of oneness is love. And so the essence of who we are, the fundamental building blocks of God itself is love. Now, God as the one, or the universe as the one, divided into the many. This part we're pretty clear on. We're now living in the world of duality. So every little piece of life is a piece of that one. Now, the purpose that the one divided into many was for the purpose of expressing its true nature, that nature as love, in an infinite variety of ways. So each individual is a unique expression, each flower is a unique expression, each animal is a unique expression of love, and meant to fully express and realize that love in a myriad and infinite amount of ways. Okay, so as an individual, you and I have an evolutionary drive, and that drive, we could say, is our purpose. Essentially, it's to express our true nature, which, if we go back, we're part of the one, and the true nature of the one is love. So our purpose is really to get back to our true nature and fully align with that purpose of why it divided in the first place, which is to express love in unique and in a myriad of ways. So our nature or our purpose essentially is equivalent to expressing love. And when we can express love in every facet of life, with every individual that we're with every thing that we say, do, or feel, that's when we can say we're in unconditional love. We are expressing love unconditionally. And that I would say would be the ideal fulfillment of your purpose. When you're so in alignment with the true nature of who you are, which in essence is the divine or God, and you're expressing it, so now you're fully in alignment with that nature and that oneness, and you have fulfilled that purpose of life. So the purpose of life is essentially to express love in everything that we do with every person we do. Now, we go a little bit deeper in this theory of everything to say that relationship meaning you and your significant other, you and your parents, you and your workmates, your boss, your friends, random people on the street, anybody you interact with is a relationship, basically. And relationships are basically the field in which we fulfill this purpose of expressing our true nature as love. Okay, Petra's saying she absolutely agrees, and if anybody else agrees, let me know. And if you don't agree, let me know as well. That's perfectly okay. Like I said, this isn't for me to say, hey, this is how it is. This is for me. Basically, I call this a map that we overlay on reality, and the map can help guide you. And if you find this map useful, then it's a map that you can tuck away and pull out when you need to navigate. Tammy's saying, I feel the truth of that to the core of my being. Beautiful. Well, excellent. And this is really, it feels true to me as well. And really we start getting in this part about relationship, and that's been my experience now, that relationship is the field. Nothing happens outside of relationship. If you really say all of our growth, all of our lessons, all of our abundance, all of anything that happens to us via the channel of relationship. Just take a moment to really take that in. It's like, we may say, oh, I did this myself or that. But really, even as they say, a self-made millionaire is such a misleading term, because here is basically what it's saying is this guy got the $1 million, but there's a whole lot of people who had to be there to help support to make that happen for that self-made millionaire. So it all happens in relationship, and the very basic is the relationship of transaction here. That somebody had to buy something from this person for them to get to that point. So everything happens in this field of relationship, and of course, the ultimate relationship, we could say, independent of any others around us, is our relationship with ourself. And indeed, when we start to understand who we are as the one, we actually see everybody else as part of the one, which is part of us. And we start to see that the world around us is actually just a reflection of who we truly are. So relationship is the field. Now, to go another step deeper, the main tool to facilitate love in relationship is communication. All right, so communication is of paramount importance to whether a relationship you express love within that relationship or you don't. And then if we want to go one step even deeper, the final level that I really come up with is that the before communication can truly be sent and received, the main message, the main underlying communication that has to happen is respect. And this is something to really take into consideration when you're in disagreement with somebody, or you're having a conflict with somebody. Take a moment, because oftentimes the conflict is really not about the thing. Oh, you left the dishes in the sink and didn't do them. Oh, well, I didn't have time to blah blah blah. You get in this conflict. Basically, especially if you're not finding an agreement point, take a moment to step back and look at a deeper level and say, does this person feel like I'm respecting them? Is this before that? Before this message can truly be received, this person who left the dishes in the sink is saying, I don't feel like you respect me. You're coming at me and all this. So you have to establish, I respect you. I love you as a person, but now I can address your behavior. And this behavior of leaving the dishes in the sink is aggravating and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can hear that now, because I don't feel like you're attacking me as a person. I feel like you have respect for me. And now you might not necessarily agree, but that disagreement can go away, and you can go away agreeing to disagree. Now, this happens to have being broadcast the night after the presidential debate, and if you really, if anybody tuned in, it was a sad moment in American history, I would say, because two people were going at each other about issues when the underlying issue was pretty clear. You don't respect me. You don't respect me. And it was pretty obvious. But then without that respect, you could see that there was no real communication about any real issues, because it always degraded back down to that respect level. So I give you this framework, the theory of everything. God the one, the essence is love, divides into the many. We are part of that. The purpose of that division is to express the nature of love in all of these different unique ways. We as an individual then, our evolutionary drive is to return to our oneness, meaning return to our nature of love. How we do that is that we express love. We do that within the field and the context of relationship. We use the tool of communication to navigate this learning how to express unconditional love. And respect is the foundational communication that has to happen before anything can go. All right, so at a cosmic level then, if you look this through, the purpose of your life is simply to express love in everything you do, to every person or to every being, whether it's animal, person, insect, what have you. That's it, period. Doesn't that make it simple? And the essence of life, and this is where we can go crazy, because we can be looking for, is this going to make me happy? This is going to make me happy. This is going to make me fulfilled. There's one thing that's going to make you fulfilled, and that's to get back to your original essence of who you are as a divine being, as the energy of love. And that's to express that energy of love so that you are it. This is your essential purpose. We might even take that, expand that a little bit to say that anything that you can do that would improve your understanding or your ability to be in relationship is, supports that purpose. And anything that you can do to improve or enhance communication supports that purpose. And of course, anything you can do to bring more respect, which is direly needed in the nation of the United States of America right now, is a support of your divine purpose. Okay, so life, again, on a very simple and I would say deeply spiritual level, is to express love, to improve your understanding and ability to be in relationship, to understand and improve your ability to communicate, and to refine that communication to deep levels of respect. All right, so the value to this is that it really simplifies life. You don't have to go um, this way or that way. This is the true road to happiness, alignment with your true nature. And if anybody, again, has any thoughts or anything that may be in opposition to this, I'm happy to hear it, because I feel like we've already established this level of respect, right? Okay. Now, one question is, though, here we are in this 3D reality, and people still have the question that I get this, but what is that? What do I do in life? And on one level, it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a janitor and learn how to express love in relationship and all that. You could be a professional poker player. You could be the president of the United States. And boy, we need a president who will express love, communication, and respect. So it really doesn't matter on one level. However, in this 3D world, while we are working on thriving, we also on some level have to survive. We have to do something to bring home the bacon, or if you're vegetarian, veganish like me, bring home the tofu or the veggie meat. But we have to do something. And let's see, Tammy's just saying, appreciating the reminder regarding respect in times of conflict. Amen to that. And I guarantee you, if you're in conflict and you can take a step back and address that respect level first, the conflict will transform. It doesn't mean you will ultimately agree, but if you still disagree, there'll be a harmony to that disagreement. And we don't have to always agree. Conflict doesn't always have to resolve in agreement, but it should always, I won't use the word should, but ideally it will result in a deepening of respect for each other, even if you go away not agreeing. So it doesn't really matter what we do, but how we do it with love and respect. But as an individual, your unique facet of bringing love to the world, you have a unique facet. So let's explore that. And this brings up, let's see if I can pull the, I've got this, let's see if we can see it. Ikigai. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's a Japanese word basically for reason for being. Okay. And what this is basically a chart of how we can come up with what our unique purpose is, fulfilling all of the dimensions of our being. Not only in here, as you can see, whoops, see, that's me and my girlfriend there. Let's go back to this. As you can see, there's mission over, let's see if I can do this with not the easiest thing to hold and do at the same time, but let's see. We have mission here. Then we have our passion. Then we have our profession and our vocation. Okay, and each of these is basically, determined by a few different things. And I really think this is good. What we love to do, what we're good at doing, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for. Okay, so let's look at this a minute, and then you can see this really goes into depth, because like we say, our passion, for instance, is what we love and what we're good at. So that's what we're passionate about. Our mission is kind of what we love and what the world needs. So that's usually defines our mission. Our vocation's defined by what the world needs and what we can get paid for. And our profession is what we can get paid for and what we're ultimately good at. All right, so, but where all four of them meet is right here in the center with that crazy Japanese word. But basically, that is your most fulfilling worldly purpose. Okay, and I say worldly because, once again, if we talked earlier about what I was talking about earlier is that our purpose really doesn't matter so much what we do in the world, but as a unique being, we have something to contribute. So let's look at this again from a perspective like from my life. If we look at the yellow above, what what I love. I love improving myself and helping others to improve, helping the whole evolutionary process. If we look at what I'm good at, I'd say from the feedback I've gotten, I'm good at holding space and helping others to navigate through difficulties and helping them to discover their inner power. Okay, so we could say in the middle there, my passion then is helping others emotionally and spiritually. Right, so that's it. Now, if we look at what the world needs, the world needs healing and guidance towards a path of real happiness. And, I'd say there's very little doubt that the world needs that. So if we went to, what I love and what the world needs, this is my mission. My mission is basically to evolve myself and to help others evolve. Okay. Now, if we look at then what I could be paid for in this world, it's set up that the profession of coaching, or as a healer or a healing guide, as I prefer to be noted as, is a profession that can be can actually earn money. And in fact, I'm in that profession. So if we look at then the vocation, what the world needs and what I could get paid for, and the profession, kind of the same in this case, this profession of healing guide. Now, this is where I'm at right now. And so in the middle, I am basically feeling like I'm there. I'm fulfilling not only my divine purpose of learning to love better and be in loving, respectful relationship with all, but that my passions, what I'm good at, and what the world needs and what I can get paid for, I've found that place. So I'm right there in the middle. Now let's look at something else. Now as you saw the guitar back there, I'm a musician. Let's look at me and music. So I love music. What am I good at? Let's say I'm decent at it. Okay, maybe I'm not as good as the professionals out there. What the world needs now, does the world need another entertainer? I'm not exactly sure. And then what I could get paid for. So it's a little more difficult for me to get paid as a musician. And so that that isn't my ikigai, or however you pronounce that, right? We can look at another example. I was just with a friend hiking the other day, and he has been in the computer industry for years. He was really good at the technical aspects of computers, things like that. I remember I've known him since college. And so he was really good at it. He didn't even go to school for it. It was just his natural thing. And he ended up working with Fortune 500 type companies, worked with Microsoft for years. So he was good at that. And what the world needs, well, definitely seems like we need a lot of understanding and help in the world of software and computer development. So it's definitely fulfilling a need. What he could get paid for, he had this job and was paid quite well for it, many jobs in that realm. And so all's that good. But what do you love? He didn't love it. Okay, so here's where these little flower points start to come in. And so this one says, when you got like 3 out of 4, that's like when you have what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, you're comfortable, but feelings of emptiness because you're not really in tune with what you love. Now let's look at this. If you have something you're paid for, you're good at, and what you love, there's this feeling of satisfaction, but feeling of uselessness because, it may all be good, but the world doesn't necessarily need it there. Now, if we're going into this one here, which is the confluence of the 3, good at, what the world needs, and what you love, but not what you can get paid for, then that turns into delight and fullness, but no wealth. Okay, and I think a lot of people are there. They found something they're really passionate about. The world could even use it, but there's really nothing, no vehicle for them to get paid. And then finally, this last one, which is a confluence of what you love, what the world needs, and what you could get paid for, but not necessarily what you're good at, is the excitement and complacency, but sense of uncertainty. Okay, so that's saying that you're happy for this. You kind of you could get paid for it. The world needs it, but if you're not good at it, it's kind of uncertain. Maybe you're going to get fired when somebody finds out that you're not really able to work it that well. So this is a great framework for really trying to find that it thing. And I'm perhaps fortunate that I feel like I've found it in my life, but it's sort of fortunate, but sort of just following the formula. What you love, get into that. What you're good at, write all that down. What you need or what the world needs, just take a look around and you can see. And then what you can get paid for, that uniquely, there's a lot of, I'd say that used to be more structured, but nowadays, especially even with the millennial generation and stuff, we're inventing ways to get paid. So that one, if you got the other 3, then we could really find a way for you to get paid. And Tammy gave me how to pronounce ikigai, and I'm not going to click on it right now because I'm afraid it will take me away from my Facebook Live. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful, and you could look up that word and you can find that chart probably if you really want it. Just email me, christian@breathflow.com, and I'll send you a snapshot of it. But see if you can use that framework in your own life. Now, sometimes that stuff isn't fully clear, and this is once again where my work comes in, and where a lot of this is really finding what's deep in your heart. And a lot of times we don't really know because there's the static of what life's told us, what our society's telling us, what our religion is telling us is good or bad, what our cultural upbringing is trying to dictate. And and so sometimes it takes a deeper dive into your heart to get the answers to some of these dimensions. And that's where breathwork really comes in. Breathwork is a powerful tool for clearing that static, for getting a deep dive into yourself and bringing up what's truly resonating with your heart. And I would say at the very at the very core, once again, when you really get in, that's the roadmap that I gave you, that you're going to find that expressing love is really the most satisfactory vocation you could have. Now, how you get paid for that, now that's that's where the creativity comes in. And again, breath work stimulates our creative input or creative output, and we can come up with all sorts of ideas of how that could work. All right, so any other comments here as we are into that? No, not so much. So I'd like to just sort of wrap this up by saying, what if you could focus on your relationships, focus on communication, and ultimately on loving and respecting others, and just sending out that vibe of love and respect as your main purpose for getting up and living life each day? What if this was really your motivating drive? How much simpler would your life be? How much would such the frenetic chaos just kind of fall to the wayside? How much more ease and grace would there be in your actions? And ultimately, how much more in harmony would you be with those around you and your surroundings? So that's what I'd like to leave you with, to feel into as we look at living life on purpose, to really tune in with that understanding of what our spirit is calling for on a deep core level, and then using that graph to help us not only tune in with what our spirit's calling for, but what we could actually do as well on this physical plane that matches our heart and our desires with something practical the world needs and helps to harmonize, which in the end is living your dharma, or your ultimate truth. So with that, until next time, R. Christian Minson here, signing off, saying namaste, and like me on Facebook, like me on Instagram, like me on YouTube. Come check my videos out. Do what Chad said and watch this, and go back and watch especially with this one, you might want to watch again and get that graph and really go through those different points and find that thing that is your true purpose. See you next time. Oh yes, but before we go, one last thing. We could call this my sub-purpose, really. If music isn't my purpose, here it's still kind of part of my purpose of spreading love, and I do that through the vehicle of music. And so we'll play a song here. Try to perform a song that will bring this message home in a musical sort of way. So here we go. Mama told me when I was young, sit beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say. If you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Boy, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come, they will pass. Find a woman, you'll find love. Don't forget, son, there is someone above. forget your lust for the rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. You can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. Baby, be a simple kind of man. To be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Did you do this for me, son, if you can? Boy, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. You can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Won't you do this, oh baby, if you can? Simple man, simple woman. Make it simple, right? Express love, communicate, relationships, respect. It's as simple as that. Say, Jessica, saying I love the song. Oh, thank you. Aisha, this is Natasha's favorite. We know that, and I'm endeared by that. Chad, great song. The music brings his message home. Good. I thought so too. It connected with the simplicity. Jessica, great job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Great performing with you. Great chatting with you. Join me again next week. We'll take it deeper. And if you have any topics, things that you want me to talk about, please send them my way. And if you like these and you think they're of value, share them with others there. That's going to help me, and it's going to help the world become a nice, more harmonious, and ideally respectful place. Thanks a lot. Until next time, take care. Namaste.